Showtime.
It's about that time.
Let's go.
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah.
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor.
Oh man, all right. Yeah, man, we are in the building today. What is going on? What's going on? What is going on, folks? What is the deal? We are here for another round of GCOM Radio, right here in your cars, at your homes, in your offices, where you got your earbuds in, you know, wherever you at right now, on the planes. You downloaded this, please hit the smash. Hit the like button. Hit the like button on the YouTube channel. You can search it on GCOM Radio, Lyfeblood.com, Dark Sun Entertainment. Hit the smash button. Hit the smash like button. Hit the subscribe button. Follow me. Go to iHeartRadio. Subscribe to the podcast or wherever you listen to your podcast, folks. So please, man, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. A round of applause for everybody that's listening to the show right now. I'd just like to take a bow for everyone that's playing this show. Thank you, guys. My week was interesting. How was yours? Learning lessons. I know you're going through those learning lessons. I've been going through some learning lessons. One of those lessons is COVID always. Yeah, so finally the COVID deadly vapor or whatever it is kind of sleeking its way or flowing its way through neighborhoods and cities and counties. Finally got under my door. Yeah, it turns out that unfortunately my wife and my kid got COVID. Unfortunately, they're okay. They're fine. They're going through the motions. My kid first got it, and it started out starting sluggish and, sniffles and all that, and, being tired and, kind of affected kind of the eating habits. Drinking my tea. Yeah. So it happened, and then followed up with my wife. She got hit with all the symptoms. I mean, she got it all. I mean, she got the cold sweats, the headaches, and you just couldn't kick. And it was like, nah, it's too coincidental. It's too coincidental for this to be a regular flu attack or something like that right after my kid gets COVID. And, she got the cold sweats and the headaches. She couldn't kick, like I said, and the sluggishness and slow, couldn't really, just lethargic, all of that. And more. And man, took the test over the weekend, over this past weekend. And so it was, she got the COVID. It tested positive on the quick test. And definitely the PCR came back positive as well. And guess what happened to this guy? Absolutely nothing. Did not get the COVID. That's the wild part about COVID. A lot of people say, you got to be in good health. You got to do this. You got to do that. There's no rhyme or reason to this thing, where it can hit one person, where it won't hit one person, it'll hit the next. And I'm here, man. I'm here trying to take over the duties of places. You never know how much your wife does until she's out. Place looking like a mess. Knocking over things. I'm like, God damn, where did that come from? Nah, it's not that bad, but yeah, man. I'm like, oh shit, I guess so. Shout out to all the wives out there. So Yeah, so quarantine it as much as possible and as much as you can. And I mean, how can you? Because at the time, not knowing that my kid had COVID, you're not quarantining. You're around your kid, you're hugging your kid, doing all those things. That's how households get it, And then how can you quarantine? You do as best as you can. But yeah, you're just going through the motions. And the good thing is that, it wasn't the more serious COVID where people get hospitalized and intubated or, really can't breathe that hard. No, it was just, it hit her. It definitely did hit her. And it was crazy. The headaches, the cold sweats and everything, and the coughing and everything like that. So definitely the fatigue just come on. Like you feel you're trying to be 100%. Psychologically tell yourself 100%, but you're really not 100%. Like walking around, yeah, I'm good, and then all of a sudden you get hit with the fatigue, and it's like, oh man, let me go back to bed. So, yeah, going through all that, man. We're going through all that. So all those people that say COVID is for the folks that go down the rabbit hole, deep down the rabbit hole, and say, COVID is not real. Yes, it is real. All right. Yes, it is real. And we were lucky that it wasn't a more serious COVID. Definitely when I'm reading the news and the articles about COVID-19 and all these things left and right, and I hear people waving the flag and all this nonsense that you see as far as the anti-vaccine and the anti-COVID. All that, it just grates my nerves. I don't have a problem with science. What I have it's the science when you do the homework is not the problem. What the real problem is human beings and personal agendas and people with power to say, whoa, you're not going to talk about this. That's good to say. That's not good to say. And then all of a sudden, you have people that's thinking a certain way. And I'm talking about, on both sides, where the people that are anti-COVID, which they go overboard, and the people that are pro, you shoot it up all the way. They go overboard because I always think of the money incentive. There's always a money incentive involved with that. So, but COVID is very real. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people have died in the United States and many more around the world. It was something that unfortunately affected a lot of us and affected societies and cities and everyone's lifestyle, and businesses got shut down, and rightfully so. And I do believe in spacing and wearing masks. And if a business says, listen, in order for me to serve you, you have to wear a mask, I respect that. I put it on. And just to see these videos of Karens keep Karen. They just going about, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not doing that. That's against my rights. This is against the HIPAA law. And I don't say they be pulling out these laws, and then you go do a little digging, and it's like, what that got to do with COVID? And then, I'm not doing it. You're taking my rights. Oh my God, this is like the Holocaust. I'm like, oh my God. Shut up. Yeah, man, them people is wilding. They just straight wilding, man. Give me a break. It's selfish. And you know what's wild, though? You know what's really wild when you hear those people say, the only people that's getting COVID are the old people. I'm like, wait a second. You won't care about GAMS? You don't care about your grandpapa? I'm like, yo, dude, how we invalidate people that is over 65? I'm like, where this come from? Well, it's not affecting me, so I'm good. So I don't know what you guys talking about with all this COVID hippily hoo-ha. I'm like, yo, dog. Since when cats, your lives don't matter when you pass a certain age. Yes, man, your grandfather and your grandmother, they're 70, they're well, they're good. If they could live another 20 years, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yo, the way people try to deal with this COVID thing is like massively selfish, man, massively selfish, just so they can get their point across. I'm like, man. Yo, these people is off the chain, man. I couldn't believe when I heard that. But it's only old people getting it. Sucks to be them. Toss them off the side of the boat. Sorry, Gams. I thought I was going to celebrate your 81st birthday, but it seems like this coming a little early this year. Like, yo, dog, it's crazy, man. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so, that was my week, man. I'm chilling out, quarantining, not really doing much. Can't even go to the gym, so I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. It don't make sense to be going to the gym, and then I'm concerned that I could be a carrier. So yeah. So let's get this show started. I'm your host, Nova Phoenix, on GCOM Radio, on iHeartRadio. And I got a couple of things that I'd like to get off my chest for the week. So the first top thing that I'd love to talk about is your good guy, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, that sexy motherfucker, him. Yes, him. That guy decides to say a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, so everybody knows at this point, what he been talking about, throwing around the N-word here and there, every which way, man, he was letting it off like a, man, let me tell you something. With that video, I swear, to go through all of that video, how many people have to go through his whole catalog and edit and cut out every piece where he said the N-word? Yo, that's crazy. Because I was genuinely surprised when I was watching it. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know he was saying all this. And I don't watch Joe Rogan. I follow him on Spotify. Because I wasn't too crazy about his the right crazed what do you call it, soft racist that he had on the show. I would watch it because I would just so I can burn their faces into my mind and just to hear the nonsense they were talking about. So he has those, but he's also had other people that more like like Dave Chappelle and Kevin Hart and all these other people because he's a comedian. So I watched it and he had some professional doctors and people in medicine. I appreciate that they have a background. If you're going to listen to anybody, you have to listen to the people that have the expertise in the field, went to school for it, have their PhDs, and sometimes that could be kind of iffy because sometimes people have their own personal agendas and kind of pushes their own back their professional credentials aside. But you have to listen to what they're saying to see if it seems that they have their own personal agenda because of their own personal beliefs, and then you just have to make a guess of it. But he had some pretty cool guests on the show. But then this video, say word, he said that so many times. But the clincher for me is when that video popped up, when he was talking about that Planet of the Apes thing. I'm like, oh, word? He said this? They pulled that video out of the bag. I tell you, whoever put this joint together, I'm like, say word. Please explain this to me. Please, go ahead. Tell me. And of course, I heard his apology, and he was, very, he's apologetic, and he's sorry about it and everything, yada yada. What was on his mind? Oh my God, and he explained the Planet of the Apes thing, and I was listening intently, and my eyebrows are furrowed, if that's the word. I was like, yeah, please, Joe, tell me more. And he said his piece on it, and that is not a mistake. You just don't say something, and you're talking to your guys on a podcast in your studio, and you say something like that's not a slip up. That's not a trip up. That's something that you believe in. You said that to get a joke out of somebody. And I'm like, okay, all right, mark that one. You got the N-word, mark that too. You got the Planet of the Apes thing. And then he says something crazy about, about, it was something like I'm paraphrasing, a person was half black, half white, or whoever they were referencing. Oh, you have the athleticism of a black person and the smarts of a white person. Oh, so we're not that smart. Okay. So I don't know if he was trying to put it in a jokey context. It did not sound like that to me. And even if it was, I didn't get the joke. Even if it was trying to come off like I did not get it. So I'm like, oh, number 3. So I kind of put that all together, and I'm like, yeah, that was very racist thing. It was a very racist thing to say. And India Arie, she's an artist, R&B artist. She decided to pull her music off of Spotify because she didn't want to occupy the same digital space as Joe Rogan, and she's making all this money for Spotify, which is going towards Joe Rogan $100 million contract with Spotify. So she did, but she said he's not racist per se because she pulled back what she initially said. She kind of said, well, it's all about curating that space, and if Spotify wants to curate a space where they're leaving room for someone for what Joe Rogan said, that's not the space that she wants to be in, and she still has her music taken down. So I believe it like this. Do I believe, based on what I said, that Joe Rogan is racist? Yes, I have it. I'm not going to front. I'm not going to lie. I've been in those situations. I've been in situations where I've been in front of other white folk when the power dynamic is different, where they hold more of the power over me. And I've been in situations where white men have been slick enough to throw in the N-word in front of a black man in front of me. And I said, well, and all, not because they're saying, hey, nigga, you nigga. They're saying it because I don't like the fact that I can't say it. And I'm going to put this word in this context in front of you because now I have the time. I did not say it to you. I said it in this context, which that makes me not racist. So there you go. Touche. I've been in those situations because they're trying to get one over on you and they're trying to be slick about it. 1 or 2 times. I've been there, and I've actually said, I was like, man, I'd rather you not say that word. Thank you. Excuse me. I'd rather you not say that word. I understand where you're coming from, but yeah, thank you. I'd rather you not say that. So yeah, so I understand what Joe Rogan is doing. I mean, and to say it so many times, and Spotify had to pull 70 shows of his to erase him saying these words in some ways to try to clean up the mess that was made by Joe Rogan and these other statements that he said. So my thing is, yeah, do I consider it racist? You personally, as me as a black man? Sure, yes, I consider that racist, and it's telling of his own white privilege and his white arrogance to feel like he could be so freely and say these things, not once, not twice, not 5 times, 10 times, but 70 times where he said these things and he felt like, hey, I didn't mean it like that. I don't know why they say it. I mean, I didn't say nigga. I said nigger. Excuse me. That's the opposite. But what's the difference? Who cares? Nigger, nigga, whatever. It's the same word, man. It's a loaded word. And it's for black people, we say it. I personally don't agree with it. I don't use the word like that. I don't use it. I'd rather not. You know what I mean? But, because they'll use the argument, well, black people. And for that argument to come up, I'm like, why do you feel a need to say it? Well, what is with this word where you have to say it in front of me? Please tell me. Give me your logic. I would like to hear this. You need to say this word. You have to say this word. It is a requirement for you to say this word because you must say this word. I'm just asking here. Let me tell you something. I've never said the B word in front of women. I never said the B word in front of Mexicans. And I'm saying in this context, Beaner, if anybody was like, what's the B word for Mexicans? I've never said the K word in front of Jewish people. I never needed to say. It was never a driving force within my gut to be around Orthodox Jews or non-practicing Jews and say the K word in whatever way, in whatever context. I'm like, I don't feel a need to say it. So when I want to hear white people say, well, why I can't say the word? Because, can I say it because it's in a rap song? Can I say it? I think it. Well, if I can't say it, then black people can't say it together. You don't have that right, my friend. And you know why I'm not going to go through it? I don't have to explain it to you why you shouldn't say that word. So my thing is, I never understand it. And here we go. We had Joe Rogan saying it 70 times. Let's come on, 70 times. Not just 70 times, but also those other statements you could kind of like fit into that whole thing when you're trying to assess who is in front of you. Are they the big R or aren't they? So my personal feeling is, Joe Rogan was using his white privileges and his white arrogance that he could say that 70 times and say these other things and be like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it that way. And now he comes around and says, well, I didn't really mean it now. I was stupid. So he can say all those times, right? And here it is. You have Whoopi Goldberg say one thing, not a curse, not a derogatory statement. She was just trying to make a statement. Yes, in hindsight, it was a bad thing to say, but not to kick her off the show for 2 weeks. But here you have Joe Rogan. He says something flat out, the nigger word, and then said that these other things to get a from his boys in the studio. And granted, he said it a long time ago. But this is my thing. How come you ain't say nothing before? How come you didn't make it a point of your show to say, hey, you know, I just want to bring this up. I said this back in the day in show 22. This is my show 345, and yet it was ignorant for me to say. I'm going to fess up to it. I did say that, and you know, at the time, I didn't think it was no big deal. If you said that in your own time, in your own space, and where ain't nobody asked for it, then I can. Oh man, he's being honest. But you waited for all this to come out, so now you got to come out with a video and be like, yo, you know what? My bad. And that's, to me, it adds to the disingenuous vibe that I get when he's talking about when he's on his apologetic run. You know what I mean? So that's my take on it. And I would love to go on Joe Rogan's show and I'll tell him that to his face. I'm like, yo, bro, yeah, that's a very racist thing to say. And well, I'm sorry. Well, it's a racist thing to say. And you know, the jury's out on you. A lot of people already made the statements, and I'm leaning towards 70-30. You're a racist. It's all good. I've spoken with racists before. I've shook hands with racists before. I have broken bread with racists before. This is nothing new. So I would tell that to Joe Rogan's face. Hey, you a racist, dude. I mean, it's all good. I mean, you know what I mean? I tell it to your face, and I tell it to 100 million people. Yeah, you're a racist. You did a very racist thing, and you repeatedly said it, and you felt like, well, I'm not going to get no blowback from this. And you know, Spotify not going to kick him off the show. Spotify is like, yo, check this out. You are worth too much money. We give you $100 million. You have a large following, and we're not willing to risk that. So what we can do is knock off these other shows, and then we'll go on our apology tour and blah, 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 blah. So he ain't going nowhere. And then supposedly a right-wing station, whatever, offered him $100 million. You could come on our show. And Joe Rogan is not going to do that, because if he were to move in that direction and jump on that right-leaning platform, then he kind of alienates himself from a lot of people that kind of they stand in the middle in terms of listening to Joe Rogan as far as, you know, their politics. And then when you make that move to the right-leaning show, now you kind of have to appease them and their subject matter. He's not going to alienate himself like that, because then all of a sudden people going to put the nail in the coffin and be like, see, I told you he was racist. He went over there. So he's not stupid enough to do that. Joe Rogan's not going to do that. And as far as Israel Adesanya, you know, he just fought. Big ups to him on his win. Israel Adesanya, I think I'm saying his name right. He was at the UFC over the weekend, and he won. Big ups to him. But he said on his press conference that, you know, he didn't think he was racist, and he's a black man. He gonna stick up, so he stuck up for him. That's all good. That's well enough. But you have to think about it like this. Someone said in the comments, you see the hood is standing up. I'm like, whoa, don't get it twisted, my dude. And I commented to it. I think it was on a UFC or Israel's IG page. I'm like, nah, the hood ain't standing up. And he's one black dude. He don't speak for everybody. And then I said, how can you really take that statement for true? And because I see it, Israel Adesanya makes his bread and butter on the UFC, and he's got freaking Dana White standing right behind him. You think he's gonna say different? And Dana White ain't gonna say nothing on camera. Next thing you know, he not getting a fight. And it's year 1, year 2, year 3, year 5. He ain't fighting. He ain't making no bread. That's how Israel makes his money. So of course he's not going to say anything different about that, and he's going to stand on that on his too. And that's him. That's if you want to go down in that direction, all well to good. So, you know, shout out to Israel. You did your thing, man, on your fight. But, you know, you got to question it. And people from the outside are looking at it. If Israel Adesanya was worth 50 million, 100 million, he had like 4 to 5 different multiple revenue streams, and he was good making his money year in, year out. He took a fight every now and then, and if he made that statement still, I'm like, okay, well, he made it. He don't need the money. He good. But that's what he does. That's his main way of getting money. So of course I understand where he's coming from, but whatever. So that's enough with Joe Rogan. Next thing, Mayor Eric Adams, man, disappointed. I gave him, I supported or defended him when he was making, or he was talking about in his press conference, talking about, we can't stop. There's a lot of people that are not educated. They're working, they're dishwashers, they're delivery boys, such and such, A lot of people were jumping on Mayor Eric Adams. They were saying like, oh, Mayor, how can you say that? I didn't even jump on him. I'm not going to jump on everybody on every single word that they said that they probably, misspoke. I'm not going to do it, but I will get on you on certain other things. So my man, Mayor Eric Adams. So the mayor was talking about rap music. I'm looking left and right. If it was a camera in front of me, you see, he was talking about rap music. You know what he said? He said it's the rap music that's causing all of this gun violence. And he spoke to his son and he was asking him about drill music. And gosh darn it, golly, we gotta stop this from happening. I'm like, my guy, are we gonna run with the same old tired excuse about music? And oh my God, it's the direct cause of all this. That was being talked about in the NWA days. We were talking about that when we was 19, 18, 16. God damn it, I'm probably, what am I, third generation hip hop person up in here? Whatever. Come on, bro. You can't. Yo, I cannot believe this dude fixed his lips to say something like that. I can't believe this guy said that. And he went up and he spent all that energy to get up in front of that podium, in front of all those mics and cameras, and actually said it. I'm like, really, bro? And he's talking about we got to wipe off the drill music. Come on, bro. That's not the root cause of all this violence that's going on in community, man. People ain't got no money. Stop it, man. Who is your handler? I want to know who's your handler. Because my thing is, I know you know. And because I know. Because I grew up in this city, man. People don't need it. Come on, you're distracting from the real issues at hand. Gun violence happens because you're coming from broken homes that ain't got no money. You work in lower wage jobs, low level jobs. You're paying bill to bill. All of a sudden you struggling, you frustrated, you angry. You got to come up with some extra money, and now you going into drugs because you ain't got no other choice. Or you probably ain't working. That's all you ever had. You coming from a broken home. And I'm not making excuses either. I'm not saying people, oh my God, the victim. Some people can make choices and they decide not to get the job, like Calvin at McDonald's. Okay, everybody knows I'm Calvin. I'm telling my age. I'm McDonald Calvin. Calvin got a job. They going for quick money. Come on, we know this, man. This is not, hip hop been telling this story for freaking decades, man. Since DJ Kool Herc. We've been telling this story since 78. Stop it, man. We already know what it needs to clean up this city. And I'm not saying for you to pull out cops is going to be there because for the immediate need, you're going to have to stop crime. You're going to have to answer calls. But you can institute programs that's going to eliminate poverty and violence and gun violence in poor communities in 5 to 10 years. You can fix that. Anyone can fix that. So to use rap music again and hip hop music as a means to kind of place the blame of all this violence on an art form, come on, man. That's an L on your half, man. That's an L on your half. I ain't saying no more about that. And if people want to continue with it, we got to shout right back to Mayor Eric Adams. You're like, no, you're not going to continue that, man. You know you don't believe those words you saying. You stop reading off them cue cards. Van Jones, man. And by the way, if Eric Adams, you want to talk, I'm here for that. I'm here for changing the communities. You really want to change how poor communities are in New York City and be the shining example across America, across all these cities that's suffering from economic depravity, economic desertification. I think that's the word. A stranglehold in people's financial situation. Let's talk about it. I would love to do that, because what we're not going to do is lock up the youth, man. We're not going to do that. We're not going to have another Khalif Browder. What I want to do is, in terms of, and let me tell you, let me preface this like this. Everything I talk about this show is in some way connected to Lyfeblood. Lyfeblood is not just about crowdfunding. It's just not about providing a secondary economic foundation for people. It's actually generating the income, making this a billion dollar company, billion dollar company. And we're going to put this money to good use in changing the way how people's lives are right here. Even when you're a user, as far as being a lifer, everything that we can do to turn around a neighborhood, we're going to see what we can do on Lyfeblood.com. And that's what, hey man, I want to make $50 billion in a quarter. No doubt about it. I'm not going to lie to you. I want that money to come raining down. And then we're going to allocate some funds and try to get this right, because the same people that you want to lock up is the same people I'm trying to train to educate them and to give them jobs, for them to be engineers, for them to be computer programmers, for them to be marine biologists, for them to be physicists, for them to excel in school when it comes to STEM programs. I want to do the other side. And if I could do that right from what we're doing right here with Lyfeblood. So don't get it twisted, people. I talk a lot about a lot of different things on the show, but a lot of ways is interconnected right to the root, right to the foundation of what Lyfeblood is all about. So yeah, I'm talking about Joe Rogan. I'm talking about trying to change the way we do things on Lyfeblood.com and inviting a community of forward thinkers into the billions that we're going to leave those old thoughts behind. And we're going to move forward in the community where we can all talk to each other and treat each other as human beings and not be slick and conniving and extra, sly with it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about, building a healthy community psychologically, financially, and building that family unit. So everything I talk about, it has something in some way, sort of way, is connected to Lyfeblood.com. But continuing, we're not going to do that. Some things may not be connected to Lyfeblood. Like the next one I'm talking about, Van Jones. Damn, man. Van Jones is a wild boy. Whoa, dude. Whoa, man, that was slick. He's talking about he got one of his friends pregnant and came out and dropped, and he says that he's trying to do a new age type of way of creating that family where they can co-parent as friends. I think I tell you what I think he did. Oh man, he got nice and cozy with that friends with benefits, and then he got a little bit too cozy and just got, you know what I'm talking about, and say, whoa, hey man. And you know, when you're an adult, I would get raw. I don't want to get too raw. Again, within a shot. But yeah, so when that thing happens, she probably was like, hey man, I want a kid. I'm not going to abort it. And, how old is Van Jones? He's like 50 something. He's like, oh, man, okay, let's do this. Let's co-parent. I'm not into doing it. And she was probably saying, that's fine with me. But come on, bro. That was, he's trying to come off like it was like a decision made, and he said, all right, let's do this. I don't believe that, because Van Jones that dude be flippity flopping in every which way. I'm on to Mr. Jones. I'm on to him. Having my tea, folks. Yeah, I'm on to him. But yeah, that's Van Jones. Here's another thing that has nothing to do with Lyfeblood.com. Shaq. I was watching Shaq's show, and it's a little old. It's on TNT, but I saw it, I think, on Amazon Prime Video. And, he's having the time of his life, chilling with his kids, doing EDM music, working with Papa John's and he's doing a lot, man. He's doing a lot. I'm glad this guy has a fulfilling life after basketball. He's a charismatic guy, funny guy, and, he deserves everything that he gets. And as long as he stays on that path and focus, I wish him the best. But goddamn, Shaq, do something with them goddamn toes. Yo, dog, you got too much money to have to Call a podiatrist. Jesus Christ, ring the alarm. He was showing his crusty ass feet. Good googa mooga, man. Could you do something with them pterodactyl toenails? Like, come on, man. You got dough. I mean, there's no reason. Your suits are sharp. And your hair is always, your beard is tight. You know what I mean? Like, come on. There's definitely things I'm going to do. I ain't talking about no BBL. I ain't gonna get no beef, but you know what I mean. I'm gonna just do some things that I got time for. I got my money, a little dough for. I mean, but damn, bro. I mean, come on, man. It's crazy. You working out in the gym. You looking at it was an episode. He was looking at himself like, nah, I can't. I'm gaining a little weight. I gotta go get in the gym. So he got money for a trainer. So he losing his weight. He looking good now. You know what I mean. But then his toes, bro. Come on, man. I know people. I know people. Know people that can get in touch with some podiatrists and call them and be like, all right, this is what we gonna do. We ain't got to give you, the whole treatment, putting on layers of, but we gonna fix some toes and put a little clear pollen look and make them look nice. You know what I mean? God damn, Shaq, it's crazy. Apple, man. Apple is taking a step. It's a dope thing. Apple is taking steps to stop all this, to stop all this AirTag stalking. Remember, Apple put out that little device. It's a circular device with the Apple sign on it, and you could basically put it in your purse or on your key ring, whatever. If you happen to lose any of these items, you could kind of locate it on your phone. That was a beautiful idea. I thought it was a great idea. Unfortunately, as everybody possibly knows already, that there's a lot of stalking going on, man. There's a lot of what's happening is there was one story that was on Yahoo. A woman was at the club. She wasn't there for a long time. And next thing you know, she wasn't paying attention, and some dude dropped an Apple AirTag in her bag, followed her home, figure out where she lived. Crazy. She found out about it. I forgot how she found out about it, but she did. And it was just, the story was just to say, women still got to look out. There's a lot of dirtbags out there, stalkers. And, but now, iPhone is stepping up, and they're saying they're going to actually do some software updates on the iPhone 11, 12, and 13, where your iPhone is going to be able to locate unknown tags. And you'll get the direction and the distance where you can locate them. The other thing, there's silent tags. Of course, when you get close to them, it'll beep so you can kind of find it. They're also going to be able to deal with silent tags that are trying to circumvent the Apple protections where they're limiting that sound. So you'll be able to get an alert when an AirTag is near you for whatever. Now, it probably could get annoying. You could be, depending on how many, can you imagine how many AirTags is that people got? And you definitely know then, because you're going to be sitting on the train and you're going to be somewhere on the ground and your phone's going to be beeping. I'm like, oh, okay. So how do you, now that I'm talking about, how do you differentiate the AirTag that someone is using to follow you amongst all the others? I guess if you go down a road, and will it have like a serial number? I don't know. It's something to think about. What else is happening? I'm looking forward to that update. I don't know when they're going to update it. Sorry, folks. I don't know when they're going to update it. It's going to happen soon. Let me see, actually. Let me see if this is, if I still got this thing up here. Let's see here. Yeah, I still got the article open. It doesn't say if maybe I'm missing it. It doesn't say whenever the next update. They're saying it's already provided, and it's available now. That's beautiful. So I guess you guys can check out that update on your phone. You can look it up. Update to on AirTag and unwanted tracking. You could just Google it and probably take you to Apple, and you can update the software on your smartphone. And it's just not for. I think there are also smartphones around. Other smartphones are doing the same thing, but it's specifically with this Apple AirTag thing. iPhone's getting on it. And man, you come out with some great technology, and he was like, hey man, it's really cool. And then all of a sudden you always have those dirt bags that come out there and be like, oh snap, because you're not thinking of it, you're just thinking of the usefulness of the technology. And then next thing you know, real life comes and hits you in the side of the head, and like, oh yeah, there's some really fucked up people out there that's gonna want to follow them home. Yeah, so I'm glad they got this done. So the next thing, Dave Chappelle. Oh, I love Dave Chappelle. What a great guy. I met Dave Chappelle once. Actually, I saw him a couple times. I was at the Dave Chappelle block party. There was another thing. I was on a tour bus or a bus. It was a bunch of people on there. He don't remember me, but shit, it's been so long ago. He meets so many people, but yeah, definitely, shouted out Dave Chappelle, gave him some daps, everything like that. But yeah, anyway, so Dave Chappelle was catching hell, man. He was catching hell because he was at a Yellow Springs council meeting, and the council meeting was about building affordable housing in the community in the town that he lives in. He lives in a nice, quaint, small town, and he was upset to the fact that they want to build the affordable housing in his area, and he was against it. He was like, how can you try to build affordable housing and put in millions of dollars of investments when I'm a business myself and I'm already throwing in X amount of dollars of investments into Yellow Springs? You don't need to do this. I'm really upset. So he was upset about it, and sure enough, they took that off the table. When he walked away from that mic, few people were clapping, and yes, lo and behold, they took it off the mic. They were moving ahead with certain developments, but affordable housing was scratched off the local bill. So he was catching flack because people usually say, well, how can Dave Chappelle say, isn't he this progressive guy? Because he says a lot of things, of course, in terms issues that affect black people, right? So they naturally put him in this progressive box. But we're not talking about in terms of race. We're talking about being a tax-paying citizen from a small town in I think in Ohio, I guess. I don't know. It's Yellow Springs, I guess Yellow Springs, Ohio. And yeah, he was in for it. It's a class thing. And I understand. I understand where Dave is coming from. I understand the advantages, and it's a great how should I say, social need to provide affordable housing. But then there's a downside to it. And what Dave Chappelle was talking about without him saying is this affordable housing is going to bring down the property value in the neighborhood. And he doesn't want certain individuals that are going to take advantage of this affordable housing bring down the quality of the town that he visits. And from a New York perspective, I can understand. I can get where Dave is coming from. Because I was, in the community. I was in East Harlem, and I was chilling and looking at, talking with some people that I knew. And this dude pulls up in a nice Benz. I don't even know what it was. It was nice. This dude comes out his car, dressed regular, kind of, business. It wasn't business. It was just like a button up with a simple, I think, if I remember correctly, a brown leather jacket, jeans, I think. I'm like, and before this guy pulls in with his Benz, I was looking down the block, and I saw police outside the building, and it looked like a fairly new building, about 5 years old. And there was some kind of commotion going on. And people were like talking. I see the hands going, people walking up in and out of the building. The cops are standing outside. They're like, hey, they're asking questions, and then people, moving their hands. So, when you see arms and hands moving quickly, some excitement is going down, right? On the block. So, I was like, when that guy pulled up, I said, that guy owns that building. I knew right away, because you just know, right? And lo and behold, he walked right to the building, spoke with the cops. He disappeared inside the building and came on out, pop. So someone that I know that was in, he was like, yo, man, that happens every other day. Something was always going on in that building. So he was saying that's a Section 8 building. Let's keep it real. I'm going to keep it 100 because I'm not just going to be talking about the system. I'm also going to talk about the shit that we go through as a people, and even Latinos too. Everybody live in poor neighborhoods. I'm talking about everybody New Yorkers. I'm talking about everybody from New York. That's on Section 8. We know what it is, right? We know what it is to have Section 8. You should have a right to a place to live. I think Section 8 takes care. Let me see. They're saying families will pay no more than 40% in a Section 8 building. And I get it. So, I understand people have a right to live in affordable housing, but unfortunately there's a lot of other effed up thing that comes from living in the hood that comes right along with it. And we're talking about criminal activity, domestic disputes, alcoholism, drugs, all the things that comes with living in poor communities. It just comes with it. And sometimes it's generational. You know what I mean? Your parents are poor, or your grandparents are poor. They came up, they did the best they could, and they came up with your parents, you know what I mean? Your parents is poor and they didn't really break out of that, social prison, socioeconomic prison rather. And, you're here and it's like you grew up in it. So there's a lot of issues that come with living in poor communities. A lot of, it comes from broken homes, not having money, dealing with what you got. And a lot of times rappers want to romanticize the whole thing, but when you look at it, when you grow up, when you actually do break out, because sometimes you are not of the hood. A lot of people have no other choice but to live in the hood, and they go to college and they make the right choices and they get out the hood, right? Live in better neighborhoods, and they look back and like, damn, it was crazy. You did with the best what you got. But that's what Dave Chappelle was talking about. Without a doubt, and I'm not talking black people. This is probably like a mostly white town. So he talking about the white people. I'm not talking about in his town. I'm talking from New York point of view. When you got a considerable population of black and Latino and everybody else in between. And what Dave Chappelle was talking about was the white the white poor people. He talking about the trailer park people, man. You don't want that shit in this town. You got to go into the town. You got to deal with methamphetamine, criminal activity, drugs, alcoholism, mental issues because they can't afford for proper treatment and medical treatment. You don't want that shit in this town. So my question is, can we actually have affordable housing without that other element that's involved? That's no question. It just comes with living in the hood. It comes with living in poor communities, especially when you're generationally poor. So can you have affordable housing and not have that attached? That's my question to the audience here. And I think that it can. I think you can have affordable housing. The affordable housing that I'm thinking about, again, everything is tied into Lyfeblood.com. So the affordable housing in terms of having some objectives being met by the people that live there, having programs set up for people to take advantage of, where it's not going to break their bank. It could be a part of having that affordable housing. Now, let me tell you, not everybody comes from broken homes. They're poor. They're just what it is. They just don't have any money, and they work their way out. But there is an element that is trapped. And they take the worst of the worst of living in poor communities and they make that a part of their whole life. Can you break those people out of it? Because as a taxpayer, I move into a nice neighborhood, I might have the same concerns. I keep it real. Because people that live in the hood don't want to live in the hood. Trust me. Let me tell you something. You live in the hood and you've been poor all your life. Next thing you know, you walk into a bodega and you win $2 million. Are you staying in the hood? No. Nobody is staying in the hood. You win $2 million clean from playing the lotto that you've been playing for 10 years of your life. Clean. After they take the taxes, after they take what they want, you got $2 million. Are you staying in the goddamn hood? Hell the fuck no. Anybody that sells otherwise, you a damn liar. You are working your way out the hood. You gonna say, yo, where can I get that $500,000 house? Oh snap, right there in Long Island, right there in New Jersey. I'm living in the burbs, okay? And if they're smart, they take a portion of that money and get themselves an education that they could pay for. And while they're living in their nice house, they're going to school, a trade or something where they can at least maintain they're not asking for $500,000 a year. They say, hey, maybe I can get myself an education where I could possibly make $80,000 a year instead of the 40 that I was making before. I can make 85 now. I could pay my property tax. Nobody wants to live in the hood. Don't get it twisted. So how can you provide affordable housing for people and provide opportunities for them to climb the social ladder? Not everybody wants to be a millionaire, but they just want to make enough where they can take their kids to school, they can afford health care, they can do all those things, take them on vacations, go to Disney World. That's all people really care about. Whoa, what was that? I got music coming through here. I just got a flash of music. One of these tabs, that's the thing with these tabs, man. These tabs they got so much, on here? So much advertising going on, and it's muted, and next thing you know, it goes off and you get blasted in your ears with trying to listen to someone trying to sell you some laundry detergent. It's crazy. But yeah, that I don't know if you heard that, but let me see that. Anyway, yeah, so what we can do by setting up programs and incentives for people. Okay, you can live here, but these are the things that you're going to have to do in order for you to not maintain. I say the same thing even with welfare. So you don't maintain poverty, that you can climb out of poverty, even if it takes 5 years. Get them on the straight and narrow. If you have a drug problem, have a drug treatment program. If you have a mental issue, see what we can do for treating these people. All you need is an education where you could be an iron worker or a tradesman, electrician, or some other. You want to be a software program. Okay, this is what we can do. It's a 6 months program. We're gonna work this situation out, and if you fall off for whatever reason, you're gonna get back on. And if you keep falling off because you don't want to hold people's hand, you can no longer be provided these amenities, this opportunity to live in affordable housing. We don't want to keep people in poverty. We don't want to get for people to use these government programs as some sort of crutch where they can live on life. Because I know people like that. They was on welfare all their life. And it gets them lazy. Let's keep it 100. I'm talking to my folk. I'm talking to every poor New Yorker that's out there. Keeps them on Section 8. Keeps them not working. I know people like that. And they say, shit, the government paying me X amount of dollars. I'm living in Section 8. What do I care if I get a job? I could chill in my crib and be on the block and not do jack squat because the government is hooking me up. Yeah, man. And they have no drive. They have no focus. They have no dreams, no aspirations. So there's got to be something more than just giving people money. You have to set up some sort of a holistic, how should I say, environment in terms of climbing that social ladder that's going to get them. And if they don't follow through for whatever personal reason, then there's actual violations to that and they can lose it. It's all up to them. You know what I mean? So I think we got to, deal with the stigma that's attached to Section 8 and to affordable housing. We have to deal with the things that keep people with the culture of a broken mentality continuing to live in poverty that comes with living in poverty. And we can say this is temporary, or this is where we want to improve people. We are not going to get you stuck into the situation where you're going to get used to it. This is to move you along to be independent people. So I understand where Dave Chappelle is coming from. I think the city only does what they do halfway. It's kind of half-ass. That's my thing. So the affordable housing that I'm thinking of is going to have a total different look. Yeah, we'll see. Take a sip of my tea. So the Tinder Swindler, man. Yo, I gotta say that's crazy. That is absolutely nuts. The Tinder Swindler. This dude, it's on Netflix. I didn't even see the whole thing. My wife was watching it. I told her it was a good show because I saw it online, looking online, that it was a dope show. I had no idea what it was. I just said I heard great reviews. She saw it, and I'm listening from, in my right side of my ear, and I'm like, what? I stopped what I was doing. I kind of leaned back. I was like, say word. So if everybody don't know about the Tinder Swindler, it's about this guy named Simon Leviev or something. It's an Israeli dude that goes around to women telling them he's a billionaire. And in the middle of them, he's whining and dining them and saying all these great things. And I want you to come and work with me, yada, 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 yada. My father is a billionaire or something or other. And in the middle of them getting wine and dine, he goes to them and says, hey, listen, I need $30,000. I'm a little short, but you know what? And they're like, I don't have that type of money. He say, hey, check this out. I'll put your name as working for my company that you're working. I don't know. I think it was like $90,000 a week or something or other, making buku dollars. Just go to the bank and then you can pull this money out. Yo, these women did it. These women One name was Cecile Felhoy. And this is from Europe. And the guys was Israeli. One of them was from, I think, Poland or Switzerland or something like that. Other one was Pernilla Sohom and Eileen Charlotte. So I was just, number one, I was surprised that the women did it. They was like, what you want me to take out? That was the one thing I was surprised. Number one, I was like, imagine somebody, that's just don't happen. A lot of it is just, to me, it's just stupidity. These women were clueless. A dude that you met is a billionaire is asking you to borrow money, and they're saying $30,000, $50,000, $100,000, saying do what you can, and you just gonna do it. So I'm sorry if I'm blowing the whole show. I'm dropping spoilers, but it is what it is. And so these women go to the bank. They go to the bank asking for this money, and they get it. Now, it's not, okay, the first time you get this money, okay, cool, we don't really know you. You're asking for $30,000. However it goes in Europe, and supposedly this is how it goes in Europe. And not just that they took the first $30,000, but they went back for $50,000. And an 80 and 120. They went back to the bank like 3 or 4 times, taking out buku dollars and giving it to this guy. They don't know him. So long story short, the guy gets, all his bullshit catches up to him, and these women put out a story on this guy. Went to the police. They're trying to find him. And the last woman, I think, let me see here. The last woman he dated caught up to the news because she was looking through, I guess, on her phone, and she found the article. Eileen Charlotte. So she caught up with it, and, confronted him, and he's like, this bullshit, I got my enemies, yada yada yada. And she was like the only smart one in terms of, she was like, yo, I'm getting back my money. And he was stuck in somewhere, and anyway, so she took his clothes because he had some expensive ass clothes, and she sold the clothes, trying to get, and she, of course, she didn't get top dollar, but she got some money. And check this out, this is the wild thing. So it catches up to him. They catch this dude. He gets arrested and charged, and he's gonna go to jail for 15 months. 15 months. Yo, this dude took millions of dollars. I don't know how long this dude's been doing it. He's taking millions. And then this is the wild part. He got charged for 15 months, and he ended up only doing like 5 or 6 months, and he got out. What? And guess what? He went right back to social media swindling more women. And he started some kind of, what was it that he was talking about? They say he started some kind of I don't know, some kind of consulting, something like that. So let me see, go to this last thing. This article, So it said, okay, so it may seem like a paltry set of consequences for a man who defrauded women of, $10 million. But the release of Tinder Swindler has at least had a few positive effects. It ranked number 1 on Netflix's global movie popularity ranking. 48,000 hours of view. That's a lot of people watching. That's a lot of eyeballs. The positive response inspired the three women featured to start a GoFundMe campaign, which at time of writing has raised 88,000 of its 600,000 pound goal. Whoa. The film also led Tinder itself to remove Lyfeblood from all of their dating services, including Match.com and OkCupid. However, users of Hinge and Bumble should still be very wary of anyone claiming to be the son of a diamond mogul. That's crazy, man. Yo. yo, that cannot happen in the hood. Let's just say everything's fair, right? Imagine this guy Lyfeblood, or however you pronounce his name. He come to New York City, right? And he sees a black woman, well off. You know, she not in the hood. She well off, living in Harlem. And he says, yeah, my father's a diamond mogul. You know, I'm worth $1 billion. Let's go on a date. She's gonna say, yeah. As soon as this fool, second or third or fourth date was like, yo, listen, Miss Holder, yeah, I need to borrow like $50,000. I just need it. She gonna straight look in this fool dead right in the face and say, nigga, what? See, I said the word. I can say that. He was like, you best to get the fuck out my face. Yeah. You said what? And the next question to me, how come you can't ask your rich daddy for that $50,000? What you coming to me for? Yo, because I don't understand the cluelessness of these women. Like, some dude you just met in like a week, 2 weeks, he's asking you to borrow $50,000 and he says he's a billionaire. What? How does that not sink in? Where are the red flags? Where's the sirens? Like going off in your head like, huh? You asking me for money? Yo, my guy. Woo, man, that's crazy. And this dude actually spent, and you know and you know what? This craziness is they still got to pay back that money. All that money they borrowed, they still got to pay that back. Yo, and this dude walking around, excuse me. This dude walking around doing the same thing. Putting out, saying he got a consult company and he had speaking at you. What? Yo, listen. Yeah, it's nuts. Anyway, so the Super Bowl, man. Super Bowl came and went. Okay, the LA Rams won 23-20. I didn't really get to see the show. I didn't really get to see it, but I did see the halftime show. Yeah, man. So, you know, everybody, Snoop did his thing. Dre, Mary Blige, Mary J, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem all did his thing. I saw Eminem. I saw you, Neil, bro. Everybody was talking about that. They kind of keeping that quiet. They ain't saying too much. But yeah, I saw you, bro. But yeah, so it was a fantastic time for hip hop, man. Shout out for hip hop. Big round of applause for hip hop. Yeah. Please, some more. Yeah, man. I was loving it, man. Loving it. You know, I just love the whole vibe. I was waiting for Mary J to do the Mary J dance. I was like, come on. But I was like, come on, Mary. Come on. Man, yo, I tell you, boy, I love the Mary dance, man. That's some, oh, shout out to YO, man. Where's she from? Yeah, but it was cool, man. It was a great day for hip hop. I thought that was lovely. But it also brings the conversation of course, as always, race politics. You know, what's allowed, what isn't allowed, who sold out, what was Jay's role in joining if nothing really changed, and you know, I mean, we could say all those things, and a lot of people are going to have varying opinions about all these folks doing the halftime show. But it's done. It's a done deal. What are we gonna do about it? You know, and my thing is, you know, I can appreciate artists, but I think people put too much weight. I think people put too much of their confidence and expectations on artists. Yeah, I mean, you should, if an artist is articulate about the issues that are happening to black people in this country, and they want to voice that and to get on the show. They really want to break down what's going on, and that's all well and good. I think that's a beautiful thing. And if they're not all artists are really attuned to what's going on. They're not. They're apolitical. They're about their money. It really doesn't move them. They're really self-serving. So I don't understand why we put so much expectations or have such high expectations for artists, because I think there are people that come from celebrity and that make good music, and for some reason that translates into support for black community. Okay, well, they make music that comes from the community, from the hood, whether you from down south, out west, or up here in northeast New York, whatever. You shout out the hood in your record, so I'm expecting you to support me. But nah, some artists are really like, yeah, I'm making my money, I ain't really getting into all that. But I don't think we should put all our energy and our high expectations on these artists, because they are people that make music. They're just people. And I think that our energy should go towards others that really support the community, that really come out and they're a part of the protest and they're on the news and they're talking about justice. One primary person that comes to my mind is Tamika Mallory. Those are the people you should put energy behind, the people that really do support. Yeah, they're gonna be in the clubs, they're gonna be dancing. Tamika Mallory, it's a divine, beautiful woman, and she certainly does show that on her IG, and it's all good for her to do whatever she wants on her IG. But you know where she stands when it comes to whatever is going on in the community, black communities and across America. So those are the people you should get behind. You don't worry. I mean, dance all to Lil Wayne, dance away. If that's that's your business. But definitely, it's people like that, like Tamika, that you got to get behind. And if Tamika, with her celebrity, with her her status in as being a public figure, maybe she could grab Lil Wayne's ear and they could do a show and get people to come, and then at the same time deliver the message of what's necessary for people to get on one singular page. So yeah, man. So the Super Bowl, I mean, there's a lot of different ways where it could be said, what people should do, what people shouldn't do. It was done. It's in the history books. Certainly with my man Snoop crip walking. If you would have told me that someone was going to crip walk at the halftime Super Bowl show, yeah, I would have never believed you, man. But it was done. It was beautiful. Kendrick did his thing. I loved his piece. I loved the show. I just really dug, and I really felt what everybody was doing, man. Hey, time for next year. So the next topic, Kodak Black. Yeah, Kodak Black is going down as another. Speaking of other hip hop artists, which upsets me. I spoke about it several times on the show. He got into a little altercation outside of a party in Los Angeles, man. 4 people got hurt. And he got hurt himself. I think it was minor. But it just goes to show, I'm like, yo, what's going on? Rappers got to be, again, I'm talking about celebrity and artists and hip hop artists, and I think there's a lot of ego in what they do. And I think a lot of these artists, whatever they rap about, they start really believing what they rap about. And even if you do come from the hard streets of LA or wherever it come from, the energy you put out is going to be the energy you receive. Know this, and all the OG rappers know that deal, and they live through it, and they can look back and say, yeah, man, I was wilding. And I'm glad I'm here at this time where I can continue to provide for my family, make money, do these commercials, and do all these things, and live a nice, enriched life, financially, socially, however. And you say, man, I literally and figuratively missed a bullet back then. When you have all the younger generation that just getting caught up in the same business, and here it is, Kodak Black, whatever, something happened in the fight, and then all of a sudden somehow letting all shots. Y'all got to check your egos, man. And if it has nothing to do with egos, you guys got to understand that you are a cash cow. You are a cash cow, and you are also notches in someone's belt to get clout, street clout. And you're going to have those knuckleheads it's just going to get into it with you, man. You got to think about where you at, having situational awareness, and beefing up your security. Y'all talking about you spending all this money on houses and chains and watches and these fancy ass, spend half that and put it into your security, man. Make sure people are looking out for you. I'm tired of hearing these rappers getting shot at, and it's like, it's annoying. Now, I wasn't big on, I forgot what my man's name is. Let me see here. This brother was talking about Facebook, YouTube. I'm trying to remember his name. I'm thinking of Dr. Claude Hansen. I'm not thinking of that. He has him on the show a lot. I'm thinking of, oh my God, what's his brother's name? Boyce Watkins. Dr. Boyce Watkins there. He's saying 200 rappers get shot. I don't know. I said on the show, I don't know who's freaking getting caught up in the nonsense. I have no idea. You can't call every Tom, Dick, and Harry a freaking MC or rapper or something like that. You know what I mean? But my thing was, the whole thing that I was trying to say is, like, how come these rappers keep on getting in these situations? Like, even if it's not going to be 200 rappers, if it's kind of overblown, like, these rappers should understand with it. What the fuck? Come on, man. You guys got to be smarter. Your head always can't be in the clouds or on Molly or whatever, man. You guys really have to be smarter, man. And even if your head are in the clouds, do what you want to do. Do what you do. You make sure whoever you paying got their head is on a swivel for you, and they can de-escalate situations that's getting out of hand, because that's their job. Yeah, man. Man. I wish people would just, because then it's going to be another well-known rapper that's going to get shot, and then everybody's going to look at him. It's going to be all the news. It's going to be online. It's going to be on all hip-hop. It's going to be ABC, NBC. It's going to be everywhere. People talking about it in podcasts. Oh, my God, he got shot. Next thing you know, it's going to be the next situation. Oh, my God, he got shot and killed. Come on, man. You guys got to be a little bit, come on. Be smart, man. Be smart. Last thing before, I didn't know I was going to mention it, but man, these Olympic things is going on. I mean, it's going on in Beijing, and not a lot of people is talking about it. But it's funny, I heard about this lady. I didn't even write it down in my notes because I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about it. But another Russian athlete. Let me see if I can find it. Performance enhancing drugs. Russian. All right, so Kamila Valieva of the Russian Olympic train. So this woman is Kamila Valieva. She got caught taking performance enhancing drugs, and they said her name. And I was like, okay, well, she's out. And I saw this big documentary. It's crazy about Russian doping. So she was kind of like eliminated, and then she came back. Somehow she came back. They were saying, okay, she's going to continue to play, but if she wins a gold medal, then she won't actually be on stage. I'm like, what kind of bullshit is this? I can't find it. I'm just putting up this random article. It doesn't really say. I forgot the drug. I forgot. I found it. It was somewhere. But yeah, anyway. So of course people are upset because who was the runner again? Eliminated. I forgot her name. Smoking weed. They're smoking weed. Sha'Carri Richardson. Okay, there you go. See, that's why I love the internet. So, it got back to Sha'Carri, and of course she's saying they're doing this because I'm a black woman, and it doesn't make any sense. Come on now. How is this woman is going to, she was caught doping, right? And now they eliminated and they brought her back. And it's saying, she's not going to be there. And Sha'Carri Richardson was eliminated because she was smoking weed. Something that's not even a performance enhancing drug, it was weed. And everybody was saying, man, come on, you guys are being a little bit overboard. It's marijuana. But she got kicked out. But this woman is performing and got caught taking PED. Hey, talk to me about it. I mean, we know what it is. I mean, there was a lot of things that was coming out of the Olympics that was mad weird. It's what it is. It's talk of the town. Yeah, so I'll leave you guys to that to have that discussion on that. That's crazy. I already, I'm like, okay, here we go. That shit ain't nothing new, but yeah, I'll leave you guys to talk about it. I'm done, man. I'm finished. My show is over. Thank you guys for listening to GCOM Radio. Your host, Nova Phoenix. And I appreciate you guys listening in and staying in tune with the show. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to enjoy some dinner. I can't wait. I'm a little hungry. I've just been sipping on this tea so I can keep my voice nice and supple. And yeah, man. So I'll see you guys next week. As always, thank you for listening. I'm out of here. All right. Peace.
Check it.
You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com for the global community.
We worldwide, baby.
See you in the next go round. From right here to your town, we out.